So, in this session we are going to discuss first about the Clausius inequality. See, for Carnot cycle we have established this cyclic integral of this term del q by t equal to 0. This is also applicable for reversible cycle, for any reversible cycle in general. So, first we have to establish that, right. So, let us think of a reversible cycle like this, right, with multiple reservoirs and all. Now, you see we have to break it down into collection of very small Carnot cycle. Like if I just draw lines like parallel adiabatic lines, and we join them by isotherms, isothermal lines. Then you see this is I plus 1, this is I minus 1th Carnot cycle, and you see this ith Carnot cycle adiabatic expansion cancels out with I minus 1th Carnot cycles adiabatic compressions, and only the effect is we are replacing, the only change we are making is to replace this pathway, or rather this pathway, from 1 to 2, or rather from A to B, by first an isothermal compression, then adiabatic compression, isothermal expansion, and again this adiabatic compression. So, A to 1, 1 to 2 to 3, and then 3 to B. So, replacement of process AB by A1, 2, 3, B, right, whether they are equivalent or not, that we have to establish. Now, delta E AB is equal to delta E A1, 2, 3, B. Next, you see that if I can prove the work done by these two processes are same, then definitely the heat interaction must be same. So, we can do this replacement. So, for that let us see that A to B is this area, right, the work done. So, work done is integral P dV from A to B, so area under the curve. So, it is this hatched region, right, and positive. Now, from A to 1, it is an isothermal compression, so it is a negative of what? So, this is negative, right. From here to here, this will be positive. So, positive and negative cancelling out, giving this, the area under this, and this. Okay. Now, we are going back to this. So, again this cancels out, right. Now, finally, you see what we are left with? We are left with, this is A to B, this, and this. One is the area under the curve, one is this area, right. Another is this area. Right. So the points are A, B, 2, 1, 3. Now area in this triangle A12, A12 is nearly same as area of this triangle 2B3. So these two areas, they are same. So you can write its integral of the path A123B PDV is same as AB PDV. So work interactions, WAB and WA123B, they are same. So QAB A123B, they are also same, and therefore process AB and process A123B are identical, or are not identical, we should say equivalent. So once they are equivalent, see, once they are equivalent, we can replace this path by this, and this, and essentially it becomes a series of this Carnot cycle. So cyclic integral of del Q by T over cycle C, say it is a reversible cycle, it's equal to the sum I equal to 1 to n cyclic integral of del Qy Carnot by T. Right. From I equal to 1 here to n here. So essentially we have proved, and for individual Carnot cycle, cyclic integral of del Qyc by T equal to 0. So that reduces to 0. So this C stands for Carnot, or let's eliminate this C. Okay, it's for any reversible cycle. So del Q by T equal to 0 for any reversible cycle. Right? So next we have to prove the inequality, that is del Q by T less than 0 cyclic integral for irreversible cycle. Now let us think of a Carnot type irreversible cycle. Right? Each path is irreversible. Each path is irreversible. So if it is irreversible, see, efficiency of irreversible Carnot cycle must be efficiency less than the efficiency of reversible cycle. So this gives that 1 minus, let's say the heat interaction is something like this, QH prime, these are the efficiency term for irreversible cycle, that must be less than 1 minus Tc by Th. Right. So minus of Qc prime by QH prime, minus of Qc prime by QH prime is less than minus of Tc by Th So QC prime by QH prime is greater than TC by TH. So QC prime divided by TC greater than QH prime greater than divided by TH. So from here we can write that minus of QC prime, the same change, must be greater than QH prime divided by TH. So QH prime by TH plus QC prime by TC is less than 0. Right. So which means cyclic integral of del Q by T for irreversible Carnot is less than 0. And again, for an irreversible cycle, and you note that a cycle with any part, any section, like this small section is irreversible, then the total cycle become irreversible, right. So if I have this and we repeat the same process as we have done here, so repeat the same discretization of a cycle into n numbers of Carnot cycle. It may be irreversible or reversible, same number of n numbers of irreversible Carnot cycle. So if I do that, we can establish this del Q by T is less than 0, right, for irreversible cycle. So overall, it is cyclic integral of del Q by T less than equal to 0, and that is the famous Clausius inequality. Right. For both, for any type of cycle, it may be irreversible or reversible, the cyclic integral of del Q by T is less than equal to 0. That is the Clausius inequality. Now you see this, from the Clausius inequality, we will now introduce the concept of entropy. Right. Let us consider a cyclic process 1A 2B1, 1A 2B1. It is a reversible cycle. Right. So, cyclic integral according to Clausius statement of inequality 1A 2B1 del Q by T equal to 0. So, which means del Q by T 1A2 plus 2B1 del Q by T, that is equal to 0. And if I change the sign 1A2 del Q by T equal to 1B2 del Q by T. So, no matter what is the path, but for this path and this path it remains same. Now, if I attach another reversible path, say C. Now, for cyclic integral 1A 2C1 del Q by T is 0, and from there we can conclude that del Q by T 1A2 equal to 1B2, which we have proved already, is equal to del Q by T 1C2. So, del Q by T for a reversible process, it is independent of the path, it depends on the state. So, the quantity del Q reversible by T is independent of path, it depends on the state only. Initial depends on the initial and final states only. And here we define entropy as a state function, right, which is ds is equal to or defined as del q reversible by t, right. Now see, for any irreversible process, if I have to calculate the entropy change, right, like for any irreversible process 1 and 2, okay, I know the initial and final state, and this is an irreversible process. What we will think? We will think an equivalent reversible process connecting the initial and final state. So for the irreversible process, if I know the initial and final state, we will calculate this entropy change considering any other reversible pathway, right. So here del q dot delta s is equal to integral 1 to 2, no matter what is the path you are following. So del q reversible by t, right. So you think of a reversible path connecting the initial and final point, and from there you calculate the entropy change. So just like here, now we will focus on entropy change calculation, and similar to internal energy, we cannot calculate within classical thermodynamics the absolute value of entropy, but rather we can only calculate the change of it, okay. So we have to now calculate the entropy change. So our topic here is entropy change calculation, right. It's entropy change calculation. So entropy change calculation, first it is the entropy change during phase change. So you see, in phase change there is no change of temperature. Say phase alpha to beta there is a change, and associated latent heat is delta H alpha beta. So delta S alpha beta we can write simply as delta H alpha beta divided by T, which is the transition temperature. Okay. Next, entropy change for ideal gas. For entropy change for ideal gas, state 1 P1 V1 T1 is changing to state 2 P2 V2 T2, right. From state 1 to state 2 it is changing, and we have to calculate the change of entropy. So you see, there are two different equations or expressions rather. ds is equal to del q reversible by t. So we write that du plus pdv considering the reversible process. So du is equal to cv dt ideal gas plus p dv by t, here also by t. So ds ideal gas is equal to cv ideal gas d ln t, and p by t is r by v. So it is r d ln v. So delta S ideal gas is equal to, for 1 mole definitely, cvig ln Tf by Ti plus R ln Vf by Phi for 1 mole of ideal gas. Right. Now, alternatively, this ds is equal to del q reversible by T is equal to dH minus VdP by T. So, that is Cpig dt by T minus V by T dP. So, dsig equal to Cpig d ln T minus V by T is R by P. So, R d ln P. So, delta Sig becomes Cpig ln Tf by Ti minus R ln Pf by Pi. Right. Or rather, I have done it wrong. It should be T2 by T1, right? And here V2 by V1, here T2 by T1, here P2 by P1. So, these are the two expressions for entropy change in case of ideal gas. Now, for solid and liquid, delta S becomes m Cp ln T2 by T1, right, where Cp here specific heat per unit mass, and these Cvig, Cpig, let us write Cpig, Cvig are molar specific heats. So, for solid and liquid, this is the mass here. So, mass into Cp into ln T2 by T1, but this equation definitely, you see, these are valid for 1 mole. If you have to calculate for n moles, multiply it by the respective number of moles. Okay? So, with that, let us go for certain case studies. So, entropy change calculations for certain cases. So, next is entropy change calculation for certain cases, and the first case is a hot solid is quenched in a bulk of liquid. A hot solid, mass m1, specific heat Cp1, temperature T1 is quenched in a bulk of liquid, mass m2, specific heat Cp2, initial temperature T. So, first step is calculate the final temperature, right. Calculate the final temperature of the system. Right. So, how will you calculate it? Simply by using the law of calorimetry. Let the final temperature be T. So, M1 Cp1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 Cp2 T minus T2, where T is less than T1 greater than T2. We consider T1 is greater than T2. right? So with that, we can solve for, T. So get T, the final temperature, right? Now we have to go for different cases. The final liquid is below the boiling point. That is, T is final liquid state is below the boiling point. So T is less than TBP. We have solved this T and we got that okay, T is less than TBP. So we can calculate the delta S1 for solid as M1 CP1 ln of T divided by T1, which will be negative because T is less than T1, right? And delta S2 is M CP2, M2 CP2 ln of T by T2, and that's positive. And what will happen if I add these two to calculate the overall change of entropy for this system? We will see that delta S universe will be always greater than 0, and this is general, which is considered as a mathematical statement of the second law. We will prove it later. So delta S total equal to delta S1 plus delta S2. Right. Now case 2. We have T greater than TB. So immediately we have to think that okay, there may be two possible cases. One is partial vaporization, the second one is full vaporization and superheating. So, first let us assume partial vaporization. Now we have to basically revise this energy calculation or energy balance, because if T is greater than TBP, then there may be partial or full vaporization. So you have to add the latent heat. So if it is partial vaporization, T is equal to obviously TBP, but how much has been vaporized, that we have to calculate. So M1 CP1 T1 minus TBP, if it is equal to M2 CP2 TBP minus T2 plus X into M2 into delta H LV, that is the latent heat of vaporization, and X is the fraction of liquid vaporized. Right. Solve for X. If X is greater than 1, then definitely this equation is invalid, right? X, if it is partial vaporization, then X must be between 0 and 1. So if we get that X is greater than 1, switch to case 2, which we will discuss later, right? Otherwise, delta S1 will be M1 CP1 ln of TBP by T1, else if this X is less than 1 and is greater than 0, then delta S1 we can calculate like this, right? Delta S2 we can calculate as M2 CP2 ln of TBP by T2 plus X into M2 delta H LV divided by TBP, right? This is negative, this will be surely positive, and obviously we have this delta ST equal to delta S1 plus delta S2. Now you think that if x is greater than 1, revise energy balance. How you can do that? Because here it's full vaporization plus superheating. So M1 CP1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 CP2 TBP minus T2 plus M2 delta H LV plus M2 CP2 vapor into T minus TBP. Right. So solve for T. So we'll get the value of T calculated. So delta S1 is equal to M1 CP1 ln of this T divided by T1 and delta S2 M2 CP2 ln of TBP by T2 plus M2 into delta H LV by TBP plus this entropy change in the gas phase. Now you see that if it is water, it's vaporizing into steam, right? So for steam, we know this final temperature, right? So final temperature, it is a superheated steam. So definitely the pressure is to be calculated, right? So the thing is, for superheating, the pressure, it's depending on the size of the container. This is definitely bit complicated. Solve for T. Then volume is Vt of the container, right? So solve for P, the final pressure, right? The final pressure, because everything is vaporized, so except this solid object, so final pressure is to be calculated by using certain gas laws or the steam table, whatever, right? So basically you have to use this gas law, this ZRT by P or this M2, how much moles is you are getting. So from there you have to calculate. Now you see, we can write this M2, then S vapor at Tp minus S saturated liquid at TBP. So from there we can calculate this value of entropy change, and that we have to add. However, if we assume the vapor phase to be always ideal, then we have this ideal gas equation that delta S2 will be equal to M2 CP2 ln of TBP by T2 plus M2 delta H LV by TBP plus M2 by molecular weight, so you are converting it into mole, then CP2 vapor into ln of T divided by TBP minus R ln of P divided by P saturation. Right. So at boiling point it will accurate the saturation pressure. Okay. So whenever we are having the saturation pressure, we can calculate, and finally we know the temperature, from there the final pressure, and therefrom a tentative calculations can be performed. But this is definitely a rare case. Okay. This is definitely a rare case. At most we can have this, and majorly the case is restricted to the first. So that's the idea of entropy change calculations for liquid solid combination. So, next we will think of this entropy change calculation for different process involving this ideal gas. So, for ideal gas you see this, it may be different process, this like expansion of ideal gas against expansion of ideal gas against simply this vacuum, right, or zero pressure, then mixing of two similar ideal gases, then basically the entropy change for mixing of ideal gases with two different this species, like entropy change calculations with ideal gas in different processes. So, the first case you see, we have a container and it is partitioned by a piston and we have a latch, right. Here we have an ideal gas at P1, V1 and T1. So, this is ideal gas and this is vacuum. So, P opposing equal to 0, right. And we release the latch. This side has got a volume V2. What will be the respective entropy change? Right. So, the final state, let us say it is P2, V1 plus V2 will be the final volume, temperature is T2. Right. So, you have to calculate this T2 first. So, you see its work in this process is 0 as the opposing pressure equal to 0. No heat input, so delta U is equal to 0. So, T2 is equal to T1, as we have discussed in the previous session when we have discussed this first law, right. So, final and initial temperatures are same, right. So, T2 equal to T1. So, obviously and finally we have to solve for P2, or P2 is definitely, it is actually not required because we have this final volume. So, N it is equal to P1 V1 by R T1, right. We have to calculate the number of moles and entropy change will be equal to N1 then CV Ig ln of T2 by T1 plus R ln of V1 plus V2 divided by V1. So, you see this part is 0 as T1 is equal to T2. So, we can write N1 CVIG R ln V1 plus V2 divided by V1. So, that is the entropy change for the process where the gas expands against 0 pressure, that is against in vacuum, and occupy the full volume of this cylinder, right. So, the next will be, if I have the same ideal gas with different pressure, volume and temperature on this side and I am removing the partition, right. So, what does it mean? That means if I have oxygen here, this will also be oxygen, no different species, same species. So, for that what will be the entropy change, and that we have to calculate. And in the next case we are going to change both these species and consider the species to be different. Here what happens? I have the partition. Here the pressure P1, B1, T1, pressure, volume, temperature, species, or rather both here we have same gas, right. Now let the final, once I remove the partition, the gases will mix, their thermal state will equilibrate. So the final state is pressure is P, temperature is T, volume is V1 plus V2, right. Now you see what will happen. Final temperature, T calculation we have to go for. So N1 Cp1, these are all molar specificate, N1 Cp1, T1 minus T, let us say T1 or consider T1 greater than T2, T1 minus T, N2 Cp2, T minus T2, right, where N1 is equal to P1 V1 by RT1, N2 is equal to P2 V2 by RT2. So you can calculate the final temperature T. So once we have calculated the final temperature, next we have to calculate the final pressure. So obviously, see, P1 V1 by RT1 is the number of moles in the left side compartment plus P2 V2 by RT2, number of moles in the right hand side compartment. So when they are mixed, finally the number of moles must remain identical, for which we know the temperature. So pressure, if it is P, then P into V1 plus V2 divided by RT, T we have already calculated. So get pressure. So once the final state pressure and the volume they are known, so delta S1 is equal to N1 Cp1 ln T by T1 minus R ln P by P1, and delta S2 will be N2 Cp2 ln, basically this Cp1 is equal to Cp2 is equal to Cp, let it be, right. So this is Cp and actually they will cancel out. So this is Cp ln T by T2 minus R ln P by P2. So delta S universe or delta S total equal to delta S1 plus delta S2. Right. Now if I change this to species, like in one we have oxygen, in another we have nitrogen or carbon dioxide, but both are being considered as ideal gas. The second case is different species, right. So T calculation, simply the Cp1 and Cp2 will be different, is equal to N2 Cp2 T minus T2, right. Pressure calculation also will be the same. So temperature and pressure we can obtain by more or less the same equation, only here the Cp has been eliminated, but here we have to consider that. Now delta S1 is equal to N1 Cp1 ln T by T1 minus R ln. Now what it will be? See, when you are mixing the two gases, right, in the final state the overall pressure is P, but what is the component 1's contribution in this overall pressure? It must be the respective partial pressure, right. So partial pressure P1 is equal to x1 into capital P. 1. Oh sorry, capital P, not P1. And P2 will be x2 into capital P. So, here the pressure will be x1 into capital P, which is the difference. And delta S2 similarly into Cp2 ln T by T2 minus R ln x2P divided by P2. So, if I add these two now, delta S total is equal to N1, let us isolate the temperature contribution and pressure contribution. Cp1 ln T by T1 plus N2 Cp2 ln T by T2. So, that is the pure temperature contribution. Now, pressure contribution minus R N1 ln P by P1 plus N2 ln P by P2, right. Next, the contribution of mole fraction. So, minus R N1 ln x1 plus N2 ln x2, right. Now, see here in the total entropy change, effect of different temperature, effect of different pressure, and next you see what is that? This is effect of mixing, right, because when the two species they are interacting, there is additionally a mixing in contrary to the previous case where the species were same, right. So, under this we can think of a situation where it is pure mixing. So, what is pure mixing? Pure mixing is T1 is equal to T2, P1 is equal to P2, right. Same initial temperatures and pressures. So, under this situation only this term, the last term will survive. So, delta S T mixing. So, delta S mix, which is entropy change in pure mixing for N1 plus N2 moles of gases. So, this is minus R N1 ln x1 plus N2 ln x2. So, delta S mix 1 mole, right. So, which is delta S mix or delta S mix T, right. So, delta S mix T divided by N1 plus N2, and that gives you R1 x1 ln x1 plus this. So, this is the mixing, pure mixing entropy change for 1 mole, and finally, we can generalize it as delta S mix is equal to minus R summation of xi ln xi, right, which will again prove in solution thermodynamics when we study this Gibbs theorem. So, and additionally, that is the entropy change for gases and for different processes, right. We have discussed about 3 processes. First one is the expansion against 0 pressure, next one is the container initially, which is having the same gas at different pressure and temperature on the 2 sides of this partition, and the third different gases with different temperature and pressure on the 2 sides of the partition, and finally, that is we have reduced it to the case of pure mixing. Now, one definite case I have left for solid liquid So, that we will discuss. So, these are the common type of questions what we can expect in GATE, that entropy change calculations for different types of the gaseous and solid liquid processes. Right. So, here entropy change calculation when a solid high initial temperature is quenched in an infinite bulk of liquid, that is M2 tending to infinity. Right. So, just like an object M1, Cp1, T1, and we are putting it in a pond, right, which has got temperature T2, indefinite bulk of liquid. So, what will be the entropy change? So, here definitely the final temperature it's equal to T2. So, delta S1 is M1 Cp1 ln this T2 by T1, which is negative. Now, what will be the delta S2? Apparently, we will think that okay, it's 0 because the temperature is not changing. However, what we have to understand, because see, what is the source of error? If we consider that okay, we have the same formula, so temperature is not changing, so it is liquid, so M2 Cp2 ln of T2 by T2, so it's 0. So, overall entropy change will be negative, and it seems that this process is not natural, which is not at all true. So, there must be some delta S2, and what is that? Whenever you are putting it here, it releases some heat Q, right, under isothermal temperature condition T2. So, what is that heat Q? Q will be M1 Cp1 T1 minus T2. That much heat is released and given to the pond water under isothermal condition. So, delta S2 will be M2 Cp2 T1 minus T2 divided by T2, which is positive, and will be balancing this delta S1 and such that the total entropy change becomes positive. So, overall process we can establish to be natural, which is actually true. So, delta St equal to delta S1 plus delta S2, this is negative, this is positive, and overall this will be positive because it is a natural process. So, in all these cases I have mentioned that for all natural process the change of entropy of this universe will be always positive, and that is basically the mathematical statement of the second law. So, in the next session we are going to first establish this second law's mathematical statement, and next we will switch over to the thermodynamics of flow process. Okay? So, thank you.